We're gonna skate to one song only.
All right, welcome everybody. Episode number 3. We'll get the background going. We have a very special guest with us today. Today's guest is ranked second all-time in 18U for save percentage, a NAHL All-Star goaltender with the Springfield Junior Blues, and a D1 commit to St. Thomas. Welcome, Ethan Roberts.
Thanks for having me, boys.
All right. Committed to St. Thomas. Can you talk about how that came to be?
Honestly, it was pretty unexpected. I went to Top Prospects midway through the year in February, not having much. I was talking to a few schools here and there, big ones being like Army West Point, Air Force Bentley. Talked to St. Thomas earlier in the year. I went there. I had 2 really solid games, went back to Springfield after a concussion, posted a pretty monster performance against Anchorage, stopping 45 of 46 in a 2-1 shootout win. And then the next day, I got offered from St. Thomas, and then, it came out of nowhere. Had to let the other schools know. So they're like, we want you next year. You have a good chance to come in and play for us as a freshman. And then it was kind of a no-brainer. The coaches are awesome. Our recruiting class is unreal. We have a really bright future.
Nice. So that shootout win against Anchorage, that's what set you off to go there? That's what got them interested?
They were interested before, but I got a concussion against Kenai. I got ran a little bit of me and Lon Lucci Ryan Miller action, pretty much exact same thing. So I was out for a month and a half, but I came back, and that was my second or third game back. And they offered me the next day, and that's what happened.
It's a great story. Everyone's got their own story.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I remember back when we both played for Junior Preds, you skated with the Hurricanes. How was that, and how were the guys on the ice?
They were awesome. Honestly, a few that stood out to me personality-wise were Martin Necas, for sure. He's a great player, for one, and then he's an unbelievable human being. But probably my favorite, he kind of took me under his wing, to be honest, because, like, obviously they're NHL guys. I'm a U18 hockey player. It's kind of weird and just awkward, I guess, when you're out there. But Nino Niederreiter was probably the most welcoming. I didn't expect him to know much English. He's from Switzerland, I believe, but the guy is fluent, unreal. Good hockey player, obviously, too. Like, the shots, honestly, a shot's a shot unless it's Svechnikov or Necas, I thought. But it was definitely hard. But when the shots are coming straight on, it's easier. But when they get moving, it's unbelievable to see how fast they can move the puck, and it catches you by surprise a lot. But it was a super fun experience.
Could we see you in a Carolina Hurricane jersey anytime soon?
Tonight, I'm going to the Canes vs. Bruins game. Well, I'm either wearing a Canes jersey or a Linus Ullmark Sabres jersey. I don't know what side I want to be on yet.
Sabres?
Yeah, I don't have a Ullmark Bruins jersey, but so why not?
So how did you end up in Nashville, and how did you like your time there?
Well, it was the best year of my life, hockey-wise, I'd say. I loved every second of it. I ended up there. I went up to prep school the year prior, and my coach said I was going to play, whatever. Didn't end up playing that much. Only played 10 games. My goalie partner was a stud. His name's Kyle Chalvet. He's going to Union next year. He's an 01 birth year. I went there, didn't play much. So I was like, I was probably going to transfer anyways to Williston, Northampton. But then Steve Jennings was like, he was working with Aberdeen. He's like, we really like you. We want you to come down here. We'll give you a shot. Since it was a weird COVID year, prep school wasn't going to happen anyways. He was like, we'll give you a shot. Come down to tryouts. I went down to tryouts. I didn't play my best, but he was like, we'll give you a shot. And he did, and I'm grateful for that. And I loved it. Great goalie coaches like Kaiser, unreal guy to have out at practice, not only just as a goalie coach, but just to talk to. I love him. And then everyone there was really nice. I loved it. Very welcoming. It's TPHCOE was electric. Yeah, it was a great year. It was my favorite year hockey wise. A lot of good teams we played. It was an opportunity to shine and get a lot of games under my belt.
Alan, that was your second year of technically 18U because the year prior you were at prep.
Yeah, I played prep, and my split season team was mid Fairfield Junior Rangers.
Any good? What was that like? What was the split season versus the full season? What are the differences?
The guys just we went out there and played, basically. Felt like a spring league team where I was the only guy from Loomis on mid Fairfield, but the only game we actually try for is versus Yale Junior Bulldogs. But other than that, I mean, it was fun. I tried being a goalie, but some of the guys just clocked out. It's basically spring hockey for them, but full season, it's everyone's trying their hardest because it's kind of like college hockey or juniors. It's like you could get scratched. It's basically like that, unlike U18 hockey. So, yeah, it was very different. The Loomis, we had a pretty good student section going to every night, especially when Avon came in or Salisbury, big name schools. It was fun.
Yeah, that sounds pretty electric. Speaking of electricity, how was it having Carson Dorfman as your goalie partner?
Oh God, that guy is a clown. I love him. I'm always close with all my goalie partners, but him and Shavs are definitely the closest. I love him. He's fun. He's actually really good to have. Whether he's in net, we just look at each other half the time after whistles, laugh. Sitting next to him was definitely interesting. We went to prom together. His girlfriend's from Atlanta, so he was like, I need a date. And I was like, man, I would love to go with you. So that was an electric night going to Waffle House at like 3 a.m. It was fun. I love Dorf. He's probably my best friend. One of my best friends. I have a lot of best friends, but he's out there. I love him. He's a great guy. And he's kind of sick too. So he's going to Amarillo. So I wish him luck.
Would you say that having that good of a goalie partner on the team makes that big of a difference for a season? Does it push you?
100%. If you have a goalie partner that's there holding grudges against you, like whether you're playing or not, especially in juniors, you could have this year I had 5 goalie partners in and out. So if you have a goalie partner that's holding grudges against you, which I did at one point this year, it's kind of hard to play, honestly. Like during practice, it's just weird. You want to have a good relationship with your goalie partner, be uplifting to each other and support each other. And it makes a huge difference. And with St. Thomas next year, I'm already close with my goalie partner, Aaron Schroeder. He's a stud from the BC. And then our other goalie partner, I met him once on my visit, but seems like a great dude too. So yeah, it makes a huge difference when you have a good relationship with your goalie partner.
Besides the 5 goalie partners and the concussion out in Springfield, can you talk about that a little bit? What was that like playing NAHL out in Springfield?
Yeah, well, it was probably around this time this year. I didn't have anywhere to play. I was going to go play Boston Vantage and NCDC. They were by far the worst team in the league. They were an expansion team, and I didn't really talk to any NAHL team. So I was here just grinding my butt off every day. I was getting some looks from Aberdeen, but I went up there, skated. I was sick, so I didn't play my best. And then Rennie, who was my coach, gave me a call on the supplemental draft day and was like, we might draft you, be ready. And I was just sitting in my room, just nervous all day, like shaking. I was like, oh God. I was like, this is my opportunity. And then next thing you know, I have 7 teams before the draft call me. If I didn't go to Springfield, I was going to Kenai. So thank God I didn't get drafted by Kenai, because self-explanatory, they were terrible this year. I probably wouldn't have the opportunities I had, but he called me and he's like, we're going to draft you. He's like, as long as you could stop the puck, we're going to have a good relationship. So we had a pretty good relationship, and I got drafted there. We went up late August, and right away we have a surprise boot camp. We have rucksacks on our back. We have to sign a waiver. If we die, it's not their fault. And it's basically just training camp, 3 goalies grinding and out against each other, walking around with rucksacks on up hills for like 5 miles at a time. It was hell, but it got our group really close together, and it was probably the closest group I've had. So I went there. My first 2 games, I played Janesville. I got the start. He was like, you're going to start game 1. We'll see how it goes. And make the decision from there. And I played Janesville. They had 14 Division I commits, and we were a team that came back after having a year off. So no one really expected anything. Like I think at the end of the year, we had 5 commits. Like, it's all right. We win 4-1, and then I get to start the next day. We win again. Showcase, had my first shutout the next game. Then I got a taste of the real no and got peppered for 5 goals against Aberdeen, against Steve. So I loved my time there. I didn't go in expecting to be in the position I am now. So I'm extremely blessed. The guys there were unreal. My goalie partners, for the most part, were unreal, especially like Axel Reed, who I had, and Matthew Smith and Ethan Robertson were the best people ever. So I loved it there. They definitely pushed you juniors as hard. Bus rides coming back at 11 a.m., sometimes driving through the night from Cloquet, Minnesota. It's definitely a grind. It had you questioning your love for the game at some points, but it's worth it, especially when it gets you to being able to play at a college level against teams like Mankato or Penn State. So I loved it. You get to travel too, especially in our division. You get the luxury of traveling to Alaska, which is super cool. Went up there 2 times, could have won 3 times, but we did not win our playoff series. So yeah, I loved it. It definitely pushed me to my absolute limits, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
So Rob, sorry, Gold. During the off season, what do you do? Do you like work out every day? Do you train with a goalie coach in North Carolina? Like, what's your routine in the off season?
It's pretty basic. This summer I finished the season. My goalie coach calls me. He's like, "So what's your plan for the next couple of weeks?" I was like, "I don't know, man." I was like, kind of bored, to be honest. I was like, "I don't know how much more hockey I could play right now." He's like, "Well, that's what I was calling to tell you. Don't skate until May 23rd. I was like, "Sweet." So, and then he was like, "Don't work out for a week." He actually gave me the go ahead to work out yesterday. So I got to spend some nice family time. But I'd say my biggest thing is I'd say I'm physically in shape. I'd say not much hockey wise is going to change, but I like to focus on my mental game with my mental coach. His name's Pete Fry. He's out of Vancouver. He works like Carter Hart, a bunch of pro goalies. He's basically gets you in the right mindset. I've been working with him since midway through my Nashville year. So last couple of weeks I've been working with him. He's unreal. Throughout the season I work with him, call him whenever. But I work out. I don't use weights. If I do, I use very light dumbbells because just got to stay mobile, loose for the hips, really. Goalies get bad hips, and sometimes weight's the worst thing for it. So I focus on my cardio for sure. Ran my first mile yesterday. It's a little tough, but not my first mile, but first one of the off season. Yeah, they want me focusing on keeping it light, just staying in shape for summer training. I go up to Minnesota here in a few weeks.
Nice. What I understand that you're an all-star goaltender. Can you talk a little bit about the all-star game? What that was like?
Yeah, it was interesting. Top prospects, you go there. I heard I was selected from my GM midway through a game. We were talking about it. I wasn't playing. I was concussed. So he was a little drunk. So I was trying to get it out of him because if anyone knew it was him, I was like, "Oh, I want to go to top prospects so bad." He was like, "Don't tell anyone, but you're going." I was like, "Oh, sweet." So a couple days later, I'm on a flight to Pittsburgh with a couple of guys from my team. It was held in the Lemieux Center. And you go there, you get a jersey. It's sick jersey. You had 2 jerseys. One you sign and auction off. The other one you get out on the ice and you look up and you just see so many scouts. So many. Like NHL scouts, Division I scouts, Division III scouts, USHL scouts, everyone you could think of. And then I'm just there like, holy crap. Like part of me is like, how am I here right now? I was like, I had good stats, but I was doubting myself. I was like, am I good enough for this? But then I click in, I had a shutout my first game, had an interview. It was super, super weird. I didn't expect it. After the first period, I was all hyped because I just had a shutout in the first period. So I was like, oh, this is sick because you're playing against top competition. But yeah, it was a great experience. Talked to a bunch of schools, like even pro teams. Like my goalie partner talked to the Winnipeg Jets and Penn State. He's a big boy. His name's Croy Kochendorfer. He's a pretty good goalie. He's Chippewa's goalie this year. So he's getting looks from NHL teams. I got a couple college teams here and there. Like it was a great experience. It was fun. League paid for everything. So because I'm a bit broke right now.
All right, Gold. Should we move on to the NHL talk?
Let's move on to the NHL talk.
All right. Who do you guys think is going to win the cup after a few games being played? Very short glimpse of the future.
I want to say the Canes, but I don't see it. I love the Canes. I think Florida's a wagon, but I still don't see that. I like the teams I like. I really like Calgary, but I just don't know if I'm sold on them. But the Avs, it gets hard. You can't not side with the Avs. They have the goaltending. They have the defense. They have the offense. Like that, I'd say their goaltending's a lot better than it's been previous years. So they're my top in the West, and then the East. I love the Lightning. I know it may not be as good, I guess, but they have the experience. They have the best goalie in the league still, in my opinion. They have great defense, and they have the experience on offense, and they're still a really good team. I'd say Pittsburgh would be up there too if Jari comes back, possibly, because just their experience. It's the last year with that trio, and they look, just watching them last night, they look like an unbelievable team to play.
We're huge DeSmith Wagoners.
Huge.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's unreal. My buddy Chavette trains with him. I think he's so good.
Our goalie coach from SPA works with him, and then his cousin was on our team. So we're huge DeSmith bandwagoners.
Oh yeah, he's a stud. He's unreal. If they get, he's done for the postseason though, right?
That was so tragic when we heard that. When he went out in game 1 in the triple overtime, I was devastated.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know what happened. I was like, he's probably just cramped up, whatever. It happens. Domingue came in clutch, but yeah, I think DeSmith's unreal. So underrated.
Top 3 NHL goalie right now, if he was still healthy, obviously. But I'll have to side with you on Colorado at the West Coast. I think Barnesy had Nashville going over Colorado, and Colorado swept them with pretty easily, it seemed like. Out the East, I think Louis Domingue, he's hot right now. I don't know how far he could take the Penguins, but it'll be some story if the Penguins lose both their goalies and still manage to win a Stanley Cup. That'll just prove how great Sidney Crosby is. Edmonton's still hot. After losing game 1, their next 2 games, they won 14-2. Yeah, combined.
But Johnny Quick, no.
You still love Johnny Quick, but Edmonton's still hot. McDavid's still hot. Mike Smith is still hot, and so is Evander Kane. So that's what I gotta say.
All right, for me, I got to go with the Bolts because they have Vazzy, best goalie in the world. Hedman, best D in the world. Kucherov, top 3 winger in the world. Stammer, 42 goals. How are you? And then America's team, I'm going with the Kings. They got USA, Johnny Quick in the net. They're being outscored 17-10 right now in the series. Does not matter. Each game starts at 0-0. And I don't know, I got Johnny Quick going the distance. Last dance for Dustin Brown. And Golub, do you remember when Coach Buckley and Matt Murray said, like, they went to Johnny Quick for advice, and Johnny Quick just said, just play hockey. Like, in the Stanley Cup Finals, he's elite, got the right mindset, and I think Kings are going to go to the Cup if it's not. Yeah, Kings and Bolts Stanley Cup. You heard it here first.
Oh, I've heard a crazy story about Quick at Avon. Apparently, he used to sneak girls in a hockey bag to his dorm. Avon, that's just what I've heard from some Avon guys. But yeah, he used to do that. Avon's an all-boys school, and that's what he'd do.
It's unreal.
I respect it.
That's an elite USA goalie right there.
Yeah, it is.
We'll continue with a little bit of NHL talk. Shesterkin during the regular season had some of the best numbers the league has ever seen. Is it possible that there's too much pressure now that it's playoff time? I can't imagine going into a playoff game at Madison Square Garden. Place has to be electric.
Yeah. I want to say he was definitely watching him play. That was the first game besides game 2 I watched of him, but I would definitely say he was rattled last night. He looked rattled. I still think he's an unreal goalie. I just don't think many of those goals were his fault. Like you look at him, I think 4 tips, a back door, and a screen. Like his defense, like the defense Louis Domingue gets, and then what Shesterkin gets is just like completely different. They know Domingue's a third string caliber goalie, so they're playing like if you watch them back check, they're balls out back check, hitting everything that moves. The Rangers just don't. I think they're the second youngest team in the playoffs right now. They just don't have that experience yet. I don't see him coming back in the series. I think Shesterkin, I don't think it's his fault. Like maybe he wants a couple back here and there, but watching that game last night, just so like either unlucky or just goals, he just has no chance of stopping. He might be overthinking a bit, who knows, but I still think he's a stud and there's nothing he could really do about last night, especially.
You want to weigh in on this, Barnes?
I mean, I don't really. I would say yeah, because he's expected to be a Vezina goalie in the playoffs, but I mean, I don't think he has that much playoff experience. I could be wrong. And I think everything has gone downhill for him after trying to leg sweep Jeff Carter. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's just not mentally there.
Yeah, I mean he's still young. As I said before, playing at Madison Square Garden, that cannot be easy. Just especially against Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. Those are 2 of the biggest names in the sport for the past 10 years. Cannot be easy at all. And we'll continue on to our next question. I know that you're a Hurricanes fan, or you may be leaning towards them, but do you think Swayman is hot enough right now to lead the Bruins to the promised land?
Nah, I don't see it. Well, honestly, the Bruins are playing good hockey, but I love Swayman. I love him. I thought like playoff experience comes in. He just doesn't have it. Like I love Omar, but I just don't think he's that good. Like he's not going to make you that one massive save that's going to win you a game. I think Swayman can, but the question is could he do it consistently like a Andrei Vasilevsky? Like in the clutch, that guy comes in clutch. Like he just seems to make those saves. Like this series, it's been a little rough, but I think he'll find his extra gear. But Swayman, I think he's super good, but I don't know if I could see him. I could see him winning this round, but I don't know how far they'll go after it with Swayman. I don't think he'll win him a cup.
Yeah, I mean, Swayman is good out of Maine. Played very good there. Had a very similar season to Olmark. After Olmark didn't perform in games 1 and 2, they put Swayman in, and he seems to be playing a lot better. But I don't know. It'll be difficult, and I guess it's just more of a let's wait and see what happens. Because when he's hot, he's a very hot goaltender.
I agree.
All right. I mean, I'm the furthest you can get away from a Bruins fan. I went to the Bruins Lightning game like a month ago, and Ullmark played, and the Lightning lost 2-1 in overtime. So I think Ullmark is a better goalie than Swayman. And he was on the team last year, the Sabres, the worst team probably in history, one of the worst teams in history. And he like put up decent numbers there. And I don't know. I don't like the Bruins. I hope they lose in 6 to the Canes, and the Peter guy, Peter something.
Go check
I
out.
can't say his last name. Yeah. I think he can lead the Canes to the promised land. At least the Eastern Conference Finals are next round when they play Tampa, then lose. But yeah, that's my take.
I don't think Kochekov's getting the start tonight. I think they're going back to Ranta.
That's a mistake.
He's healthy.
I agree. I think Ranta's good, but Kochekov has that swagger to him. He's a beast.
Yeah. He's young, he's Russian, and he likes to fight Marchand, so can't get much better than that.
For sure.
All right. Well, that's all the questions we have written down. Barnes, you want to add anything onto that?
Who is the best player you've ever played with or played against?
Oh, shoot. I played against some pretty good players, so I may leave one out. But besides the Canes thing, dang, I played some pretty good players this year at Top Prospects. Just trying to think. Oh, New Hampshire guy. His name's Cy Leclerc.
Oh.
Holy, that guy is a stud. Oh my God, that guy pulled off the Michigan twice this year. Sports Center, probably if I had to choose one, probably him. He seems to just I had good success against him, but other guys, see him tear apart that league this year was just unreal. So I played against Lucas Mercury on Salisbury. He's drafted to the Canes. They had another kid drafted, but I don't know, probably competitively and not like summer skates or whatever, probably Cy Leclerc. That guy is an absolute stud.
It's an Exeter kid right there, Brentwood.
Yeah, he's unreal. UNH commit, he's a beast.
He's so good. All right.
How about you, Golub?
Best player I've ever played against? In the game?
Yeah.
Probably Moldenhauer, U16 year. That kid is something special. We played him 4 times that year. I only played against him once. And he's the only kid that scored on me. He is so good. He is such a fast skater. Shout out SPA U16s when we beat the Avs 3 times that season. And shout out to Barnes to beating them in Nationals.
Oh yeah, Nashville beat him. That was an insane game.
Oh yeah. I think Colin scored.
He did.
Yep.
The beast. I would bring that guy in for a guest, like a little celeb shot, but he's working out, believe it or not.
Oh boy, he's getting ready to be the top scorer at Natty's again.
Yeah, he is.
He was like the top scorer at Natty's like 2 days in.
Biggest grinder in
two games.
Yeah, he's the grinder. I love how he plays. Guy is jacked now. His legs are. Well, he's always been jacked, but now he's it's absurd.
The best player I've played against was Connor Bedard at Pee Wee, Quebec. He scored a hat trick on me. We unfortunately lost the first game of the tournament, 7-1. But then we made it to the quarters in the loser bracket. So we could have made it to the Chiz, but we lost Team Illinois and Lane Hudson, who is on NTDP now. So
I forgot one. So I was at London training camp, and Antonio Stranges is sick. So he's up there. And then Celebrini, some Shattuck 05 kid I played in the Chowder Cup last year, he popped 6 on me. 6, yeah. I was playing with the Connecticut Junior Rangers elite team against basically the Omaha Lancers plus Celebrini. And we got rinsed 10-0. Stayed in for all 10 in a 25-minute playoff game. So I saw 52 shots in 25 minutes. They didn't ever take the foot off the gas, and Celebrini had 6 goals as an 05. So honestly, he might be the best player. I think he's at Shattuck. I don't know where he is now. And what's his name? His brother's on Denver. Oh, shoot. I think he plays in a dub. Man, I got to look this up. It was this 0-2 on Denver's brother. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll find it. I got to EP this.
Gold skated with Ross Colin over the summer. The guy that scored the game-winning goal for the Lightning last year in the Stanley Cup final.
He's a beast, Ross Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First shot he took on me hit me square in the balls. It was not a good shot. It was so unexpected because you go from out of the season playing U16, U18 all year, and then you step on the ice to that shot right to the balls. It's just not a good feeling.
Yeah, it's brutal. I found him though. His brother's name's Carter Savoy. I played against Matt Savoy. Both of them actually. They're on the same team. We were at Dubuque training camp too, and man, that kid is a stud.
Pretty sure he's a lottery pick this year.
Yeah, he's good. I think he's an 05 as well, or 04, 05. I don't know what he is, but he's a stud.
Savoy's
Yeah,
good.
He's an 04.
Yeah, he's unreal. So those are the best players, I think. And Robert Mastromoni, he's an 01 that was at Shattuck. He's drafted to Detroit, I believe, transferred from BU to Arizona State. He's a stud as well. And Henry Wilder, who was BC's backup, I think, this year, played against him. He's a stud. Yeah, that's played with a lot of good players, or against them, usually against them and getting ripped, but it's definitely fun.
All right.
Rob, it was a pleasure having you on. Hopefully we could get you back some other time. Maybe with Dorf and Kaiser. There'd be an electric episode.
That would be so fun.
Yeah. So thanks for coming.
Yep. Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. See ya.
Yeah.